Welcome back, everybody, to another great episode. I'd like to introduce to you Brandon. He's the owner of N-Hance Wood Refinishing of Forsyth, Cherokee, and Alpharetta, Georgia. Good afternoon to you, Brandon. How you doing?
Hey, Didier, doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, listeners, in today's episode, we're going to dive into successful business owners like Brandon. We're going to hear some of his aha moments, and we're going to actually find out how he became so successful in terms of driving his business forward and into the next level. Also, for those of you that are looking to become entrepreneurs or aspiring business owners, he's going to provide a couple tips for us as well for our listeners to kind of, if you're on that fence and you're not sure if you want to move forward or step out of it and be on your own, he's going to help us with that as well. And if you find this content helpful, please feel free to, and you want to hear more about this type of content, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. Let's get right into it. Brandon, welcome again. If you could give our listeners a little bit about your background.
Sure. Yeah, my background is mostly marketing, advertising. I was in advertising sales, print and digital media sales for a number of years, and then moved over to the agency side, working with creative ad agencies to help brands deliver their message to the right consumers. After a lot of years doing that, I decided to take a chance and become a franchisee with N-Hance Wood Refinishing, which we've been in operation since 2017 now.
Awesome. And it's interesting when I talk to business owners like yourself, there's always a path. And sometimes it's directly correlated to what they're doing now. And sometimes they go a different route. And in your case, it seems like you took a giant leap of faith to get into a new industry, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it was, it just was a time in my life that I had I had done enough, as many years as I needed to sort of, make a solid decision on whether I saw myself in my bosses or my boss's shoes, in a number of years. And I just didn't, it was okay. It was, I made a good living. But at the end of the day, it just, the job satisfaction, just wasn't there. I was always, thinking about something else. And, it's just happenstance and chance opportunities that present themselves in life. Everything just kind of came together. But the real thing that kicked it all off was I was let go. I was fired from my marketing job, and that gave me the freedom to think creatively, to, think about opportunities, businesses that I could start and have control over my future. I knew, I'm the biggest advocate of myself. I trust myself. I know what I can deliver. And so I was very confident that, given the right situation, I would make a good career for myself and for others, really. So
that is such an awesome testimonial of how you took a negative, right? It kind of like hit you all at once, but you didn't focus on that. I'm sure there was some downtime at that time when you went through that, but you took a negative and made it to a positive, and kudos for you for doing that, Brandon.
Yep.
Let's talk about your business a little bit. When we talk about N-Hance Wood Refinishing, when I was looking at your website, you're not just a typical company that paints cabinets. And I like what you said here. On your website, it says, we aren't your typical cabinet painting company. We don't recommend you trust your cabinets to a can of paint from the store. That's you couldn't have said it better. So kind of give our listeners a little bit tell us about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a, cabinet refinishing company at heart, and slowly evolving into other service offerings. But yeah, that's what we do. We've focused on since 2001. N-Hance has an exceptional research and development team, a manufacturing team that manufactures these products that we use. They're all specifically manufactured, and the application is specifically for cabinetry, a high use wear and tear, finish that is going to be durable and withstand, things like steam and heat in the kitchen, the splash zone around the sink, so these products and processes were specifically designed for the work that we do. And as we've evolved, we've become a little bit more in terms of carpentry work and, cabinet door manufacturing, drawer boxes, internal smart storage solutions. We've evolved there. So when we started, 100% of our business was refinishing kitchens, and we like to use the term refinish. We feel it sets us apart from, as you said, your typical brush and roll painters, because it's certainly an art. It's a process, and I feel that customers are very confident in selecting N-Hance to do the work because of that specialized, focus and attention. A lot of painters out there, but a lot of them do a little bit of everything. And, this is really our core competency and expertise.
I like what you said, is the fact that your customers are choosing you because you really focus. Like you said, there's a lot of companies out there in terms of competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've built trust, and you've built a product. When it comes to refinishing of your cabinets, you've built something that the customer can really rely on based on what you guys do, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. Anybody that is considering having their cabinets painted has been to a friend's or a relative's home and seen cabinets painted, and some of them, quite honestly, just don't look very good.
Correct. I've seen
customers are, they like the idea of a color change. They like the idea of modernizing the look and feel of their space, but they're concerned internally about, really what the end result is going to be. They're concerned about, hey, if something does happen, are you going to be around to help me, or what do I need to do to, if I'm getting the home ready to sell in 5 to 7 years, and I'm ready to go put it on the market, will there be any issues or concerns, and who's going to, answer the phone when I call for help? So, being able to deliver and perform the work consistently that we do has been critical in our growth with customer referrals and our Google business page platform and online reviews. That has been really, really strong and speaks directly to, what a customer gets when they hire N-Hance. But the other part of that, what they get, is that customer service piece. So it's the products, the process, and the work that we're going to do, but we're going to make sure that you understand what you're buying, what we're delivering. We're going to align expectations up front so that everyone, including the customers and N-Hance, can be happy at the end of the project.
That's awesome. And when I saw, I look at your website, and then I see all the before and after photos on your photo gallery. I mean, you guys basically do it all. You take something from old to make it new. And there are some that just want to do a quick job and refinish, or not just to paint their cabinets. But if you, like for your company, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to come back and hire another company. Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah, you shouldn't expect to do this work again, in the time that a normal, person owns their home. 20, 30 years, right? That might be a little bit different, but in terms of, having 5, 10, 15 solid years of a finish and a product that you no longer have to worry about, that, by the way, is the right color, that worry about that possible outcome goes away. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are there any kind of trends that are shaping your industry right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the sales side, utilizing technology in our processes, to sell, not actually doing the work itself, but delivering estimates, having conversations with customers, and to be able to do it efficiently. Anybody that's ever traveled through our area here in Atlanta knows that the city seems to expand, like it never ends. And that's the truth. We have a huge, suburban population on the north side, south side, east side, west side. There's really, you could have your own little town and geographic coverage area in about 6 or 7 different places in Atlanta, right? So we want to, earn as much business as possible. We want to cover, the entire area as best we can. And a really creative way to do that is with a company called Groundwork that we're using now to help us conduct online estimates, and being able to do it in a way where we're not losing any
efficiency or time.
Efficiency, but we're not losing any trust in terms of being able to look at somebody in the eyes and try to understand if what they're saying is actually going to be the case, right? So that's really helped us on the sales side. But in terms of kitchens and bath design, those trends are always changing, obviously. So we've got to stay on the cutting edge of what's going on out there and be able to speak to it and have a solution for it. Of course, there's always things that we're working towards. For example, we don't do any stain work. We used to. The industry changed, demands changed, and so we kind of just got away from it for a number of reasons. Well, that trend is swinging back the other direction, right? People want that stain. They don't necessarily want that orange, golden oak stain that was very popular in the 90s, but they're looking for, to add some different tones and elements into their space. They want the painted finish still, but they also want some natural wood tones, maybe a little bit more rustic of a look, perhaps on the kitchen island. So we're trying to get our head around, how can we deliver that? Yeah, how can we deliver that solution without, and ensure that we're staying in our lane and doing what we're best at.
Great information, man. I mean, this is great little, tips and about the trends that are coming. So awesome for being able to see that and forecast that and see what's coming back when you talk about that as well. There's going to be some people who are listening to this podcast, Brandon, that are wanting to be aspiring entrepreneurs or business owners, maybe in your industry, maybe not in your industry. What kind of advice would you give them? Maybe a couple of pointers if they want to start a business.
Yeah. Let's see. Finding people, really is the golden ticket in business.
Absolutely.
I'm only as good as I can sell, but if we have nobody to do the work, then we're in real trouble. So finding people is, you hear contractors, especially, contractors talking about, I can't find any good people. And the pandemic created a serious situation there, and that was real. But at the same time, I really underestimated anybody in the HR department at any of my jobs and companies in the past. And my hat's off to them, sitting down in their shoes, knowing that, posting a job of availability is critical. Finding that person is critical. Asking them the right questions is critical in a setting that you want to ask them. It was a big difference in interviewing, laborers than it was interviewing, a potential account executive at the agency. So, we do a little bit of a working interview where we can get a sense of their work ethic and skills. But at the end of the day, we want to hire good human beings. This isn't rocket science. Everything here can be taught and learned. We have a very robust, training document and program that we take folks through. But I can't teach somebody to say no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and thank you, and please, and that kind of stuff. And just having a good presence in the customer's home, making that customer feel at ease in their own home while a stranger is there, is critical. And so I think that, finding those right people, spend the time, empower them, trust them, and they will help your business grow.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Very nice.
Right.
Nicely worded.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up here, can you provide our listeners a way to get a hold of you, your website, and your phone number, Brandon?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's N-Hance Wood Refinishing, and it's of Forsyth County and Cherokee County. We're located in Alpharetta, Georgia. We can be reached at 470-253-8794, or online. You could submit a request for an estimate, and that's N-Hance, spelled with an N. Oh, over here. There it is. NHANCE.com/Forsyth, FORSYTH -Cherokee.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. It's such a pleasure for you to be able to share your insight of your business to our listeners as well. And we wish you much success over here. And hopefully we can have you back again in the near future.
Absolutely, Didier. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.